I know that's what it was.
Everybody, please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Minutes.
I have approval of the August 18th town board minutes and acceptance of the August town clerk's report.
Can I get a motion on them?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bills.
I have general bill number 19567 through 19592, highway bills number 19593 through 19605, and water bill number 3145.
Motion to pay the bills.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Supervisor statement. Thank you to everyone in attendance and everyone watching on the town YouTube channel tonight. Community Day went off with a bang and everyone seemed to have fun. It was a great turnout. Just a reminder, Town Cleanup Day is this Saturday, September 17th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Town Highway Garage for Pine Plains residents only. We'll be accepting furniture, rugs, couches, chairs, sleeper sofas, mattresses, box springs, tires, appliances, car batteries, fluorescent bulbs, and ballasts, all for a fee. Will not be accepting chemicals, paints, hazardous materials of any kind, medical waste, electronic, and lithium batteries. Please stop down and get rid of your items and say hello. We unfortunately cannot get a shredder set up in time for this day, but it is a possibility in the future. School is open. Please look out for buses and children walking around town. When a bus has their lights on, do not pass.
Do we know what the fees are for community day?
Yes,
or-
they're listed on the flyers.
Did you say no electronics?
Yes,
What about engines? Somebody asked me about a lawnmower.
that's all part of the metal. That's
So,
all
okay.
going to metal bin.
Okay.
Warren,
How are you?
good yourself.
Good. So, as you know, I asked if I could, we could have my matters on first, so I could leave a little early tonight. I think we have two things of importance. Is Taylor with us?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Hi, Taylor. How are you?
Hi, Taylor.
I'm well. I'm well.
So we have two public hearings. The first one is the public hearing on the adoption of the official map. As you know, we made some changes to our zoning code to change some of the district boundaries. Went through that public hearing process and the law was passed. And now we need to simply update our official map in accordance with our town code. So what I did was prepared a local law adopting the new maps that were prepared for us by the county. And it's a type 2 action under seeker, does not require any environmental review. It's pretty non-controversial, but we should open the public hearing up to the public if anybody wants to comment on the local law or ask any questions.
Should we wait?
What time did we schedule that one?
At 7:10, and last time we opened a public hearing early, we heard a little bit about it.
That is
Oh,
correct.
okay.
Solar law first.
Okay.
And you had the solar law first, Warren.
What about the other one? What time did we notice that one?
7:10 for the solar law, 7:20 for the zoning map.
Ooh, okay. So why don't you go on to something else and we'll come back to that.
Thank you.
Public comment.
I was wondering. if
Could you
there
just
could
state
be-
your name, please?
Oh, sorry.
That's
thank
okay.
you. Lenore Champagne, Carpenter Hill Road.
Thank you.
I was wondering if there could be dates on the videos of the town board meetings. I watched the last one, but I wasn't sure which one it was, because there aren't any dates on the, underneath the videos.
On the YouTube channel, I thought there was. Because when I missed the last board meeting, when I went, I'm pretty sure I saw a date. I go to the YouTube channel though, and if you go to the YouTube channel, it's under Pine Plains Town Hall. board meetings.
Okay, I'll try that next time, because I went to the website.
Okay,
And then I was wondering if Community Day, which was, I thought, great, could be on the town, listed on the town website as an event in the future, because it wasn't listed anywhere. And somebody commented on that to me, so I thought I'd bring that up. That it would be great when there's a Community Day for that to be listed
Wasn't-
under
It was
events.
on there, wasn't it?
as a public comment as well, Community Day went awesome. I thank that committee who actually went through. Two of them are sitting in the audience right now. A lot of work went into it. The kids zone was great. The food at the restaurants was great. I think we had a great turnout, a few hundred people, upwards of 500. Town police really helped, stepped it up, made sure nobody was speeding through town, got a few people, speeding through town. And it was just nice to see people, a lot of, we had, I think, 10 to 12 community organizations set up in the little space between the Stisson Center and the Stisson House. So it was nice to see, what they offer, what they're doing. So I just wanted to thank everybody who was on that committee. They did a great job.
It was fun and interesting.
And how did you arrange with Lloyd Vale to go through at just the right time with the?
Well, that was the sights and the smells of Pine Plains, like we really got it all. I mean, there's nothing like the honey wagon going through than to really, get you. It gets you right in the nostrils, Tower, right in the nostrils.
Anybody else? Okay. Move along. We'll get into the department reports. Highway Department, did everybody receive the,
Yes. Karen's letter.
yes? Building inspector?
2022 continues to be an interesting year for me. They have started, well, they just got permits actually for phase 2 at Stisson condo project. The first phase was 10 units and they're essentially done, not CO, they got some final testing to do, but essentially done, virtually done. They've just started pouring foundations for the next 16. So I did issue 16 permits for phase 2. The interesting thing of the month is when I went to issue those 16 permits on August 30th, now I wrote 2 other permits in town, which is, it just surprised me. It was like, I've been writing so many permits, August seemed to dry up. Who knows what'll happen? So anyway, it brings it up the total up to this year for 83. With the condos, it's up to 26. Without the condos, it's 10 new homes in town. That's a lot for us. I mean, we've been running 3, 4 maybe. So this is, take the 16 out of it because that's a little special circumstance. But 10 individual family homes built this year. That's a lot.
Now, are they completed, Drew?
No.
Sealed? No, not yet. Okay.
I'm watching one of them through my window at my house and it's nice seeing,
Yeah.
a new structure going up.
I did 13 certificate of occupancies, 6 certificate of occupancy searches, and then 29 site inspections. And as you can see down below at the statistics, 83 permits for a year is just twice as many, 3 times as many as other years. So it's been a busy year, but so far it's all sticking together.
Nice. Was it
Thank
being so busy, you need any extra training that you need to go to or anything like that?
They're doing that all online. That's the one nice COVID since, like, it used to have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Then when COVID hit, they put a lot of stuff online, so it made my online training.
Just want to make sure you're getting everything that you need, all right?
I need that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Ray, we're gonna hold off on yours and get into this public training. Warren, we're good to go for the solar?
Okay, so let's just do the map first. On the map, we should open it up for public comment. If anybody has any comments.
Do we need a motion to open up the public hearing though?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to open up.
We're backwards again.
But we're doing the
Yeah,
solar, not
do
the
the
map.
solar
We're
first,
doing
Warren.
solar first.
Solar was 7:10.
Yes. I make a
Oh,
motion
I
to open up the
apologize.
public
Okay.
hearing for-
So why don't we, so let me explain
All in
the
favor?
solar.
No.
Hello? Yeah. So the solar law has been worked on by our zoning review committee in conjunction with our planner. And it was sent to me a couple of months ago, and I reformatted it into local law format for the public hearing. It basically does what the committee had recommended in establishing a 3-tier system for approval of solar projects. It's not terribly controversial, but it'll allow for larger scale solar facilities to be sited in the town in accordance with those regulations. So if we're ready to do that, we can open up the public hearing, make a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll make the motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
And maybe we should take comments first. If anybody has any comments or questions, Taylor is here to answer any questions that the public may have.
Any questions or comments from the public?
Okay. That's good. I met with the planning board last night. The planning board did want to weigh in on this, but they didn't have it ready for tomorrow night. So they asked me to ask the board to extend their time. I suspect that the comments will be all favorable, but we're going to have to adjourn after the close of the public hearing. We're going to adjourn it to next month anyway, so I can prepare a resolution adopting the local law. So if it's acceptable to you, we can continue the public hearing to next month to allow the planning board to file any comments that it may have. We received comments from the county planning, which has reviewed the law, and they indicated that it was a matter of local concern. They had no issues or comments on the local law. The only additional thing we need to do is to go over part 2 of the EAF. Taylor, do you have that so we could just go through that?
Yes,
Did we
good evening, everyone. Yes, I do have that. And do you have hard copies? I think I see Supervisor Walsh, you have one in front of you.
Yes.
So I will go ahead and share my screen, but if it's probably easier for you to follow along with your hard copy. So, the EAF Part 1, the full EAF Part 1, is typically the longer form where you just kind of detail what impacts, if any, a specific action would have. As you know, this is a generic action. Adopting zoning is not a specific, we're not building a house, we're not building any specific thing. We are adopting something that would allow that. So it's a little bit different analysis. The EAF Part 1, as directed by the form, does not say this would be, 10 acres or 2 acres, because we don't know. There's no specific action. So that said, this EAF Part 2 is where we are going through and saying, what would the impact be if there was something happen, or what would the impact be of the proposed action? Proposed action here again is just adopting the zoning. So we call it a generic action. So this is, there's nothing proposed, but I'm going to zoom in here so we can see a little bit better. But we're saying, I think through adopting this zoning, although this action itself will not specifically have any impact on land, we're saying that the action could, it could involve the construction or physical altercation of land surface, but we don't think there's any big impact, any impacts that would happen, which are in these A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It goes to specific things. We don't see anything big. There's either no impact or a very small impact, that would happen as a part of the solar zoning. So, just let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to interrupt me. I'm just going to kind of keep it moving. So number 2 asks, will there be any impact on geological features? No, we don't think so. Same thing, impact on surface water. We don't see that these solar panels will be installed, on wetlands or any other surface water bodies. No impacts. 4, impacts on groundwater. They don't use any groundwater, so we don't see any impacts here. It's all above the surface. Impact on flooding, same thing. We don't see these being installed on lands that are often flooded. Impact on air, these do not, installation of solar panels does not include a state regulated air emission source. Impacts on plants and animals. So it says that there could be a loss of flora and fauna. Yes, there could be. But no, we don't see any large impact. There's going to be no impact or small impact. But we're just thinking, to be, a little bit more conservative, maybe. You are planting them, or not planting. These would be installed. And then some people may be, they may have to clear part of a site, that sort of thing. But we don't see any large impacts. Again, no impacts or just a small impact. Agricultural resources, same thing. So this, this action it may impact agricultural resources as a part of the, zoning text. This is mainly for the tier 3. We have, the applicant has to show, or tries to minimize any impacts on agriculture and then show, I believe, how it would impact agriculture. We think through this, through review of a tier 3 report, there would be either no impact or just small impact, on existing agricultural resources in the town. 9, land use, it's obviously different from or in sharp contrast to current land use patterns. No, we don't think there would be any different patterns of land use with these solar installations. Impact on historic and archaeological resources. No, we don't see these, being really placed, large scale stuff being placed in the historic districts in town. Open space and recreation. We don't see these being, leading to the loss in recreational opportunities or designated open space. Impact on critical environmental areas. We don't see them likely to be, installed in the Stissing Mountain CEA. Transportation, a solar panel is not going to change the existing transportation systems. Impact on energy. This asks for, would this increase any use of any energy? No, this would create energy. It's a solar panel, so it's going to create energy. It's not going to increase new ones. Impact on noise, odor, and light. Same. I think there would be some outdoor lighting associated with these. So we checked yes, but no, or just a small impact may occur. We don't think this is going to be a big deal. I think light will come through. Any impacts are going to come through during site plan review, and we think they can be minimized. Human health. We don't think solar panels aren't big sources of contaminants that could impact human health. We do think these impacts are, we do think, installing solar panels in general are consistent with, the adopted comprehensive plan update. So this was a little tricky. You say no, saying it's a double negative. You say no, but we do think it is consistent. Same thing with community character. You say no, but we do think it's consistent with the existing community character. And that is it.
Yeah. Would you go back to number 9, please?
Yes, Don. Aesthetic resources.
Oh, okay. I thought you had called it land use or something like that when you.
We can, that is
Land use, okay.
previous.
I'm
That's
sorry.
number 6 or 7. We do discuss it. I think.
Okay. But you feel that it's a no rather than, yes.
Oh, Don, you mean number 1 here?
Number 9. Go all the way back. Oh, is that 1 under 9 or Patricia?
1 is impact on land. Am I misunderstanding?
Go back to number 9
Okay.
or go forward to number 9.
Got it.
Okay, I was just needed a little more explanation on that one.
Oh, I see. It says the land use of the proposed action is obviously different from
Right.
or in sharp contrast to. I think just when we looked at that, it's thinking about land uses as the proposed in solar installations. I mean, it is a little a large scale, a size 3 or a tier 3. I guess it just, it depends. I don't, I mean, it depends on where it's installed. Again, we
Right.
don't know where any of these are going to be installed. And I guess I should say, for a tier 3 installation, they're going to have to do their own environmental review. So that is
Okay.
a site-specific action. An applicant who comes in with a tier 3 will have to
Okay.
do, I'm pretty sure we said, a full environmental assessment form, which is this. So they would have to do it for their specific action. So let's say I don't think it would happen, but they put it in a historic district.
Mhm.
They would have to check, yes, we did put it in the historic district, and then answer all of the questions. I think in general, it's not going to happen. That's a big example, or,
Okay,
but that's what this specific environmental review is, just on the generic action, or the proposed action, which is generic, which is just adopting the zoning. It's not installing anything.
okay, that's fine. I just needed to
Right.
know more.
But
Yeah,
again,
that's the difficulty in doing this environmental review for a change in the local law like this, but there's enough protections built into the solar law so that the planning board could effectively deal with any tier 3 or large scale solar project. And that project, based on the site specific issues with regard to that project, would undergo a complete environmental review.
Yes.
So the only decision is, does the adoption of the local law create an environmental impact, which needs to be studied through an environmental impact statement? And our advice to the town board would be, no, it does not. So that what we call a negative secret declaration should be issued as part of the final resolution approving the local law, which would mean that no environmental impact statement needs to be drafted in conjunction with the law.
Okay,
Okay, so if it's okay with you, we're going to keep the public hearing open to the next month. I will have a resolution. We'll discuss the mapping law in a second. I'll have a resolution adopting this local law, hopefully, assuming there are no surprises from the planning board. And the resolution will also reflect the environmental review that you've conducted tonight. So it's just a matter of keeping it open to the next October meeting at 7:05. Is that all right?
Well, I mean, we could do it right at 7 after the pledge.
I'm
So,
sorry.
we could do it at 7, like right after we'll do the pledge and then open
Yeah,
the law.
yeah, but let's do it 7:05 in case somebody comes in late. That's
Okay.
and that's all we need to do on that tonight. And the other local law is the mapping local law, which I already discussed. That's not subject to environmental review. All it does is meet the requirements of state law and our own code to adopt the official map with the changes in the zoning districts that we've already approved. If that's acceptable to the town board, I will have a resolution adopting that local law at the next meeting. And that will go up to the Department of State and the general code to then incorporate those maps into our online code, official code.
so.
So all we need from the board is a,
Do we have to open the
We
public
have, we
hearing?
need,
let's
We
see.
gotta open a public
Why don't
hearing for the-
I'll prepare the resolution for next month. We'll have both resolutions on for next month. So let's continue the public hearing on this to 7:10 for next month. And I'll have the written
we
resolution.
haven't opened this public hearing officially yet.
I'll make a
You know,
motion that
let's-
we open a public hearing for the map.
Yeah, let's close the public hearing on the map. We're not gonna have any more comments. But we'll
Warren,
pass, we'll have the
Warren,
resolution ready for next month.
Warren, we haven't opened it.
You didn't open it, but
No.
we did.
You kept talking, you kept talking.
Well, let's open it then.
I'll make that motion to open the public hearing. with that change.
I second, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now it's open.
Do we have any public comments on this?
Can I get a motion to close?
I make a motion that we close.
All in
And then
favor?
we'll have both resolutions on tonight. Thank you. The only other thing before I take off, we did get another missive from Robert Hudson. I don't know whether you saw any of that, but he has been someone who's a thorn in the side of the town for many years and has consistently, every few years, filed a petition with the highway department to open up access to his property through an adjoining piece of property. I can tell you that case has already been decided by the Supreme Court Dutchess County. So I will be taking care of that and responding to that and advising Mr. Hudson that there's no merit to that petition and he should not pursue it. Hopefully that'll resolve it, but I can't guarantee it. And we are still working on trying to resolve our one tax certiorari case. I don't have an update for you tonight, but I'm hoping the next 30 days we may be close to settling it if we can. And that's all I have. I don't know whether you had any questions for me about anything.
No.
No, thank you, Warren.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'm
Have
gonna
a
leave
good
a
night.
little early tonight and I'll see you guys. Keep well.
Thank you.
And I think I'm good too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Right.
Taylor. You have a good
Oh,
night.
I'm sorry, Taylor. Thanks for your help tonight.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Have a good
All right.
evening.
All right,
Night.
good night, everybody.
Okay, back to department reports. Water,
So the monthly water report was submitted to Department of Health. Average flow has dropped to approximately 55,000 gallons per day. There was a small service leak that was located on Bethel Court that was found. And more recently, in the past week, there was a leak actually in the cemetery, so it's been repaired. So it actually made a dramatic difference. So we're gonna see those start to level off, which is a good thing for us. So at one time, it had been as high as 70,000 gallons per day. But it has dropped off significantly. Water meter replacements, 2 meter hits were replaced and one damaged water meter was replaced. And since the water meter was damaged, at no fault of the water department, it will be billed to the property owner as far as the cost of that replacement. Very costly. Maintenance, cleaned and rebuilt both chlorinator pumps. There were 5 utility markouts, which was the tail end of the utility pole replacements that were taking place in town with Central Hudson. I mentioned the water main or the water service leak on Bethel Court that was taken care of. There were water samples taken for both wells for PFOA, PFOS, and dioxane. And those were taken the first week of September, and it's usually about 4 weeks before we get those results back. We took samples on both wells last year for 2 consecutive quarters with no traces of the contaminants. So again, the Department of Health allowed us to go down to 1 quarter per year as far as the testing, because they're approximately $1,000 a piece.
What is a PFOA and a PFOS? Just, I have no idea.
Yeah, so PFOA, PFOS, those are emerging contaminants, sometimes associated with Teflons, also firefighting foams, different things of that nature.
Okay, thank you.
Silicone is another one. Silicone production can produce those byproducts. So the village of Hudson Falls, you may have heard, there's also some small municipalities up in Vermont that have been hit by that type of contamination. So it's one of the emerging contaminants that the state looks at. So again, we'll report on that once we receive those samples back. Continuing with our lead service line inventory, which will be ongoing until 2024. I'm about 3/4 of the way done with that though. We've got a good handle on it, since a lot of the lines actually were replaced, and one of the only lines left is East Church Street and 82 South, but the other ones are all been replaced. And then third quarter meter readings will take place at the end of this month, and the bills will be sent out at the beginning of October. Looking for a while.
Right, how do you compare what we pump with what the meters are reading,
Yes.
and how close are we?
We actually, we have to do that every year. So every year in the March timeframe, I have to submit a report to New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, which is the annual water taking permit.
Mhm.
And we actually have to take a look at what our production is versus what our billing, and then determine what our losses are. I believe that lately we've been sitting at about 90%, as far as recouping
Mhm.
that. Obviously, anytime there's any hydrant flushing that takes place, leaks, obviously, and things of that nature,
Mhm.
those items don't get billed.
But it's done once a year, basically, or,
Oh, no, I'm doing it continuously, but I'm saying that I
Okay.
report it once a year. I usually do it after every quarter.
Hmm.
Once our billing goes out.
But you're pretty comfortable that we're a pretty tight system right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Again, from time to time, there are times where, we spring our leaks like we've had. This past summer, we've had a dramatic increase, and again, part of that is because of the drought as well.
Right.
But that is being recouped. A good portion, our revenues were up
Yeah.
because those were going through the meters as far as sprinklers and things of that nature.
How about our water levels? Have they dropped at all
No.
because of the
No,
drought?
I monitor those on a monthly basis during the summer.
Mhm.
We have not had any issues as far as any type of water level drop or any impact through the drought. And that's been very consistent
Hmm.
historically.
I ask the question every year.
Yeah. Pine Plains is very fortunate as far as its water supply goes.
Ray, how did we ever make out with that individual with that bill? That she said she had a small leak, but
Yeah, so I had touched base with her and spoken to the plumber. And the plumber did not have any indication that there were any leaks inside the house or anything like that, so we're still holding the ground that it would have to be paid because it did go through the meter.
Okay.
Engineering wise, I hope to have drawings on the dugouts by the end of next week, so I'm late on them, I admit that, but I hope to get those over to the board for next week. I've been working with Stissing Farms as far as building 8. They have requested to potentially make some slight adjustments to the finished grades of those buildings. At least 2 of the buildings were proposed based on the original approved site plan to have drains in the driveway. So the house was actually going to sit a little bit lower than the adjacent roadway. We're looking to now then raise that up. So I'm working with them. I met with them last. Correct, exactly, yeah. So they're gonna go up almost like a half a foot each one across the total of 6 units in building 8. So we met last Friday. Just yesterday, I received their proposal as far as what those elevations are going to be. So I'm gonna review that site plan, provide them with the response, and then obviously, Drew, when I send that to them, I'll carbon copy you so you're aware of that potential change. But if you take a look at the buildings now, they're very uniform as far as a straight roof line. The impact would be that it would be a step roof line. So 2 units would be slightly lower, the next 2 would go up higher, and then the next 2 higher from there. Just because, again, the grades are not exactly level. There's a slight pitch from east to west on that particular one. And we do want to get away from placing those buildings down in a hole. The first building that was ever built on that site was done that way, and they've had issues as far as just maintenance, and we're just trying to alleviate that. I did meet with the engineer regarding the sidewalk in front of the pharmacy, so going to be working with them as far as getting something submitted to DOT, because technically that will require a DOT work permit. So I'll get together with them on that. The only other item that I had engineering wise is a mistake that I made last month as far as the recommendations on the materials. My apologies. In my haste for the winter cold mix asphalt, Colarusso and Sons actually had a slightly lower price than Peckham Materials. Coloruso's price was $100 per ton versus Peck Materials at $112. So I'm just requesting that the town board make a motion accepting Coloruso as an additional contract for winter cold mix asphalt at $100 per ton.
I'll make a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
My apologies for that error on my.
We'll forgive you.
That it?
That was it.
That's it? All right. Recreation Department, no report.
Flag
Uh,
football, if any parents want to get their kids involved Sundays. I know that just started, just to put it out there.
Everybody received the animal control report?
Yep.
Police Department.
Monthly activity for police department, court, we have 13 total hours, patrol 129 hours, discovery 2 hours, admin 25. Second best.
Investigation.
Investigation, yeah. I don't know why I got it abbreviated. Investigation 15 hours. As far as details, 32 hours in details. Vehicle and other 23.5 for a total of 239.5 hours. Handled 16 complaints, 1 accident, 12 warnings, 22 tickets issued, and 1 DWI arrest for a total of 53. For the shift over the month, we had scheduled shifts, we had let's see, we had a total of 30 scheduled shifts, and actual shifts covered were 36. It was a total of six shifts over what we had scheduled that were covered. And as far as continued report, I was able to get DCJS to certify all of our radars, the LiDAR unit, the preliminary breath tests, which are the alpha sensors the guys carry in the cars, and the Data Master DMT, which is a scientific instrument that measures the alcohol in the deep lung tissue, was certified remotely in July. So we just have to bring that, the only thing we have to do is physically bring the Data Master up in January. And if we're able to do that and bring all the rest of the equipment up at the same time, it'll be a once-a-year thing. We have to bring the Data Master up anyways to get certified. So we'll bring all the rest of the stuff up to get all certified the first month of the year, and then we don't have to worry about it for a year. So
That it?
that's it. Anything for me?
Thank you for your help on Community Day.
Old business, I had a couple things. Playground has been ordered. New lock system has been ordered as well. Propane tanks at the library have been completed and the area has been graded and seeded. There'll be 2 rocks that'll be placed around the fill lids to protect them from the road. You have anything?
Nope.
Anything?
Under new business, I think.
Okay. New business.
3 of the poll watchers have come to me and asked if the town board would present a resolution to the Board of Elections naming the community center as our new election site rather than this building. They feel this building is inadequate size-wise, both for privacy and for social distancing. And also, there's no room really for them in the break area, is pretty much taken up as it is. The other recommendation is the Wi-Fi here and the cell phone service is really minimal or unpredictable. And at the library or the community center, it seems to be, much more reliable. They've had difficulty contacting the Board of Elections with the results and also with just questions. So they're asking if we would present as they say, a resolution to the Board of Education recommending that the venue be changed.
Board of Elections.
what did I say?
Education.
No, it is BOE, so. we-
Well, if you're looking for a
Sorry.
second, I'll
Which-
second that because I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
There's a
we can
lot
do it
more
that way.
room and there's, more parking,
It's
Yeah.
newer accessibility to it, the handicap accessibility.
Which I did reach out to them multiple times.
know,
I
yeah.
spoke to them. They wouldn't do it this year, but we can try with a resolution, absolutely.
For November.
You're not gonna probably get it for November, it's too close.
Well, it was just with the primaries that they had here, it was pretty much a nightmare.
I agree with you, we can try it.
Okay,
We can
we'll
try it,
try
no
again.
problem.
Right,
you have warrant, yeah.
and I know that Greg Pulver has been trying also.
Yes.
So we haven't, they don't listen. As a matter of disclosure, my wife is one of the board, the poll people. Okay, thank you for that.
The Board has received the tentative budget to review. There'll have to be cuts made, so we can keep the taxes low, obviously. We'll discuss that. As stated on our website, the town highway has lost an HMEO and have been accepting applications. Interviews will start soon. Also, one of our assessors, Jim Mara, is resigning effective September 30th, 2022, as he has sold his house. So the town, I'm asking for acceptance of his resignation.
I'll
Second.
second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye.
And thank you to Jim for, as you said,
21 years.
21 years in that position, mostly of the time I remember him as chairman.
But it also means that we, as a town, will be looking for somebody to step up in Jim's place.
Right,
So anybody who has an interest in becoming an assessor in town, I guess we can start, right, having people.
At any time.
Yep.
Yeah, so write the town board if you have any interest.
Send the letters of interest to supervisor secretary.
He will be missed.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Lisa Ferguson as highway superintendent. She wanted to go Monday,
Effective this September 19th.
effective September 19th.
I will gladly second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Did you want to say a few things? You don't have to.
Hello, thank you, and thank you for welcoming me to your community. We just moved here 2 years, so I'm excited to get involved and be part of this community. It's very, very nice. Very, very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to Mr. Coons for stepping up in place
Yes,
of Heather, why we were in that limbo.
A motion to go in executive session.
that's good.
Somebody that motion.
Can I get a second?
What are we discussing? We just had to state what we're discussing.
We have personnel.
Personnel.
Personnel, okay. I'll second it, or whatever it was. Are we making any decisions, or can we let Madeline go?
Do you have any?
No.
No.
So I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Can I get a second?
I'm bringing us, I make a motion to take us out of executive session.
Second.
All right.
I'm making a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
That's my favorite part of the meeting, Drew. I got that one down.